Hello, everyone. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over. I'm glad that you could join me today. This video is not exactly one that people have requested, but it's based on the fact that people frequently ask me which are my favorite dolls. So periodically when I do a Q&A video, I'll ask people to submit questions, and inevitably people will ask, which is your favorite doll? Or which is your favorite girl of the year? Which is your favorite historical? Which is your favorite whatever? Um, that is so hard for me to answer. It's so hard. And I had the idea in my head that I would love to see how um, my own choices compare to a randomizer and to a bias sorter. So I'll explain a little bit about each of those. But before I dive in, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Every video I do is all about American Girl stuff, and I try to keep it interesting. I post at least once a week, so I hope you'll consider subscribing. And to all of you watching who are already subscribed, thank you. I'm so glad you're back. I love that you choose to be with me for some portion of your week. All right. So the first thing I did was use a list randomizer that I often use this. Those of you who know, I often use this when I'm doing a dressing my dolls video, and I randomize the list of all of our dolls and just select the top 15 because I can't dress all of them every time. So instead of picking the top 15, I am picking the top 20 to see if I could only save 20 dolls from our entire collection, which is closer to 100, and if I left these dolls' fate to the randomizer, who would be saved? And I'll just give you my quick reaction about how the randomizer did. So here's the list. And I'm taking these as a group of 20, not necessarily that the one they put in number one was number one. Like I cannot do top 1 through 20. I can just do did they make it into the top 20? So Marie Grace, nope. No, she would not be in there. We have other Marie Grace molds that I like better. I am kind of particular about the Marie Grace mold. I'm not the biggest fan. So I never was really attached to this doll. It was Grace's purchase. And in fact, if our Marie Grace left our collection, I wouldn't really mind. So no, I would not have picked her. Addie. Man, I love the Addie mold. I don't know that I would have picked our 35th anniversary Addie as our top 20 because we pretty much leave her in her meat outfit all the time. And she's so gorgeous, but I wouldn't mess with her hair. I wouldn't do anything with her. So I'm not sure if I would pick her. Probably not. Teo, our number 76. Man, he's so cute. He is one of my favorites, but when you get to 100, which is right around where we're sitting lately, I don't know. I don't know if he would make it. Amara, I really like Amara. I switched out her bad eyes for good ones, and I still don't feel 100% sold on her eyes, but I do like them now. So she's up there. Would she make the top 20? I guess we'll see when I have to actually think about it. Willow, our custom 116. Yeah, actually, I would probably put her in our top 20. My top 20. Yeah, she's so pretty. Again, see Marie Grace. Willow's is a Marie Grace mold that I just like much better. I like her features much better. And because she doesn't have a glued on wig, if I were keeping top 20, that would be extra points for her because I could switch out her wig and get a lot more variety. Rebecca, I really like Rebecca. I think she is a solid doll. She's often underrated, but she wouldn't make my top 20. I definitely want to keep her in our collection, but she wouldn't make my top 20. Lilibet, no. I can't. I struggle so much to dress that doll. When I dress her, I think she ends up looking cute, but she can only wear a tiny fraction of the clothing that we have because her hair just clashes with most of it. So no, I would not. That was Grace's purchase. Primrose, she is the second of the shimmering silver limited edition dolls that we own. Yeah, one of them. I don't know if it would be Elowen, who's the one that we kept completely intact and keep in her like gorgeous elvish looking gown, or if it would be Primrose, who I gave a different lip color to, took off the glitter on her lips, and probably will end up giving a slight haircut to, and she wears more everyday looks. One of the two, yeah, I would pick one of them. Sydney, yes. And probably knowing the dolls that we have in our collection, it would surprise people that I would pick a 55 as one of my top ones. Certainly, she'd be the only classic mold that would make it on that list. But she just has sentimental value to me, and she represents what I looked like as a kid. And if I were a kid, if I had gotten into American Girl dolls as a kid, I probably would have gravitated towards 55. So, yeah. And my wife gave her to me as my very first ever doll. So, yeah, I would put her on there. Kaya, no, primarily because we keep Kaya in her meat braids and we don't tend to put her in a lot of modern clothes. So I just don't feel like I would get as much out of her. She's beautiful. She's beautiful, but personally, she wouldn't make my top 20. Logan, no. We switched out his bad eyes for better ones, and I still think he looks a little bit derpy. He's my least favorite of the boy dolls that we have. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, I think. Yeah, I think we have 5. So, yeah, definitely he's not my favorite. Kanani, I really like Kanani in general. I like my Kanani's face, but she does have rough hair, so she would not make my top 20 for that reason. Lyric, this is kind of like Primrose. Lyric or the other 45 that we have, which is Journey. One of the two would make my top 20. I'm not sure which one. They really look exactly alike. We haven't customized them. They're just like identical twins. So one of the two of them. Leah, yeah, probably. I really think she's a stunning doll. Yeah, probably. Penelope is a custom. No, just because there are other Sonali mold customs that we have that I like better. She wouldn't make my top 20. She's gorgeous, but no. Nell, probably. I would probably put her in my top 20. Z, I would not. Ours in particular has just her eyes are a little off, so I wouldn't pick her. Nikki, no, I don't like her eyebrows. And our Tiana was supposed to be an older version, but I think that she still has kind of deep set and narrow set eyes, so probably not. So the randomizer, looking at this list, I'm just going to kind of pause and quickly do some mental math to see how many out of the 20 it selected would actually probably make my top 20. I think 6. I think 6 of them. Okay. All right. Duly noted. So the ones that I think would make it are Willow, Primrose, or her twin, Lyric, or the other 45 that we have, Leah, Nell. That's 1, 2. Oh, Sydney. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's it. I was missing Sydney. Okay. So next we're going to look at a bias sorter approach to this. All right, so with a bias sorter, you enter all of the things that you're trying to rank, and it will show you just 2 of them at a time, and it pits them against each other. You can pick one or the other, or you can say, I like them both, or no opinion. And the more you select no opinion and I like them both, the less helpful it is for ranking. Because it will not force you to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will just give you like, well, you had 17 dolls that tied for first place. And so the next doll is like, then you had 14 that tied for 18th place or something like that. So it's not perfect, but it at least, instead of being random, it at least kind of guides your process. So I put in all of the dolls and did the bias sorter, and here are the results. And I did end up putting no opinion, and I like them both on a lot of them. So I got all of these in like tied for first place, which is kind of ridiculous. I just counted the first 20 first place dolls. And so these would be the top 10. They get saved in a house fire, or, if I had to sell off all my dolls and only could keep 20. So let's look through them. Elowen, I had already said, yes, I would keep either her or Primrose. Prue, number 30. Ooh, I really like her. So love her face. She was bought used and I restored her hair, and it's nice, but not like perfect. So I don't know. Maybe. Autumn is my wife's CYO, her most recent CYO. She's really pretty. Quite possibly. Maddie, it would be either Maddie or Kimmy, who is our other 54. Probably Maddie because we sent her into the hospital, and so her hair is perfect. She got a new head, and she has the notches that are like actual notches and painted in both inner and outer corners. And Kimmy just has slightly different eyes. So yeah, maybe Maddie would. Hazel is a Claudie that we got. Oh, that's funny. Claudie and Hazel are on there. Well, yes, because I freaking love the Claudie mold, and Claudie is gorgeous. If I probably wouldn't put both of them in the top 20. And since I still have Hazel's original Claudie wig, I would pick Hazel because she doesn't have a wig glued down. So I could turn her back into Claudie anytime, but I can also have the flexibility of putting any wig on her. So yeah, probably Hazel would be on the list. Willow, I already said I would put on our list. Gwen, oh my gosh, she's surprisingly cute. She's these, our Gwen in particular has these gorgeous long lashes, but I don't think she would make my top 20. Simone, yeah, I couldn't take all of our Sonali mold CYOs with us, right? But Simone is unique, and yeah, I'm obviously going to be putting pictures up of all of these, right? So you can see her. Yeah, I'd probably put her on there. Claudia, I already talked about. Journey, well, the randomizer picked Lyric, but I said either Lyric or Journey. So one of those two would be on the list. Nell, yes. Alice, so we have two custom Joss dolls, Ingrid and Alice. Alice is probably, yeah, because we've switched her eyes to Marie Grace eyes. I would probably put her on my top 20 list. I really like her. And again, her wig's not glued down, so that's nice. We would be able to get a lot of flexibility out of her. Rosalie, yes. Danny, I love Danny so much, but I have switched out that doll's eyes twice, and I still don't feel like I have them 100%. So if I didn't put her on my top 20, oh gosh, that would hurt me. If I didn't put her on my top 20, it would only be because of her eyes. I feel horrible even saying that. Okay. Giselle, possibly. She's a stunning CYO. I don't know. Delphine, probably not, just because I'm more attached to Journey and Lyric, our 45s, than I am to Delphine, but she's really pretty. Joss, yes. Kingsley, probably. Royce, I don't know, I love her, but I don't know that she would make my top 20. Amara, I think I said before, I really like her, but probably wouldn't make my top 20. Okay, so let me pause and do the mental math and see, out of the bias sorter, how many of these I do actually feel would definitely make my top 20. Okay, so 11 of these would probably make my list. So that's much better. What was it? It was 6, so that jumped up to 11. Definitely the bias sorter helps, but I don't think it adequately captured who I would actually pick as my full top 20. So let me share with you who I end up picking. Give me just a moment. Okay, so to recap, There were 3 dolls that came up on either the first option, the randomizer, or the second, the bias sorter, that I said yes, but we have like basically 2 of these dolls, so I have to pick one. So between Journey and Lyric, I picked Journey, or 45. Between Claudia and Hazel, I picked Hazel because she doesn't have a wig glued down. And then between Elowen and Primrose, I picked the original Shimmering Silver doll, the one that we are basically keeping in her outfit. Then there were several other dolls that were either present on the randomizer or the bias sorter. So let's see, Maddie, our 54. I picked her over Kimmy. So I guess there were 4 that I needed to do that with. Willow, our custom 116. Simone, a CYO. Nell, 31. Alice, a custom Joss. Rosalie, a CYO Sonali mold. Joss, Kingsley, 77, I think. I can never remember. And Sydney, my 55. So that got us through 12 of the 20. And then the additional ones that I had on my list were Leah. She's just so photogenic. And she's one of the few Josefina molds that actually both eyes look at the camera. And she does have a new head, fairly new. We sent her into the doll hospital about a year ago. So yeah, she's in great shape. Miley, who is a customized Nanea. Gabriella, I can't believe she didn't even show up on the bias sorter, which is why I don't trust the bias sorter. I completely stan Gabriella. She, in particular, our Gabriella. So when I did this list, I wasn't thinking the top 20 of all the dolls in existence, and I wasn't thinking like the top 20 of like in theory these dolls. I meant like of our actual collection. And I happen to think we have a particularly beautiful Gabriella. So yeah, she made the list. Gianna, she didn't make any of the list before, but she's on my top 20. She's our 86. Ty, who is our 58. We used to have 2 58s, and she was our original one. We ended up selling the second one to a friend, but our 58 has fuller hair than most because I separated all of the curls into 2. So it may not be a look everybody's going for, but I really, really like it. I think she's beautiful. Violet, our Truly Me 40. She is just a really, really sweet-faced Jess mold in our collection. Luca, she didn't make any of the other lists, but she's on my list. I think 107 is gorgeous. And Nora, there were so many pretty CYOs to choose from, but I picked my most recent one that I created. I've only actually created 2, so I picked the most recent one that I've created, and she's kind of inspired by Truly Me 11, but not meant to be a copy of her. So there are my 20. I'll put them up again so you can see them all. Okay, here's some bonus material. I asked Grace if she would do this. So I did my 20, and then that evening or the next morning or whatever, I asked Grace to do hers. I didn't tell her anything about mine. I didn't tell her, what approach to take or anything. I just said, if we could only keep $20 from our collection, let me know who you would pick. I was in the grocery store and she messaged me and was like, I got it to 28. Oh, holy crap, this is hard. And then sends me another message. I'm down to 26. This is excruciating. So her 20, I'm just going to go through them in order, and then I'll maybe do like a little Venn diagram or something to show where we overlap. So she picked Quinn, who is our Truly Me 85. Quinn was like number 21 on my list. She was so close. Gabriella, that was one that we had in common. Teo, she picked and I didn't, and she was really surprised that I didn't. He was close. It's so hard. It's so hard. Gianna, we both picked. Yvette, she picked, and I did not. Kingsley, we both picked. Lena, by the way, the ones that she picked, for the most part, like Quinn and Teo and Yvette, I'm like, yep. I didn't pick them, but they're lovely, and I wish I could have. Lena, same thing, our 62. We both picked Violet. We both picked Joss. We both picked Journey. We both picked a Claudie. I said she picked Claudie and I picked Hazel because I could put Claudie's wig back on her and she could be Claudie again. So I feel like we coincided on that one. She picked Sabine, and that's our 118, and I would not have. She's grown on me a little bit, but I still do not like her bottom lashes, and she's just not my favorite. But she's very pretty. But I wouldn't have picked her. Luca, we both picked. Covey, she picked, and I did not. Nikki, she picked, and I wouldn't have. I mean, I didn't, but she wasn't like a top contender or anything. Ingrid, which is her mini-me, and this kind of makes sense. She picked her mini-me, and I picked one of my two mini-me's in Sydney. Willow, we both picked. Maddie, we both picked. She picked Autumn, and I told her, and that's the CYO that she created most recently, and I told her I picked Nora, and she went, oh, crap, I totally wasn't thinking about Nora. I probably would have picked, I don't know. I don't know who would have gone, but Nora probably would have made it somehow. And I said, it kind of makes sense that she picked the CYO that she made, and I picked the CYO that I made, but we both really like each other's a lot. And then she didn't narrow it down between Elowen and Primrose, the two shimmering silver dolls that we have, but she just said one. I don't care which one. And I had said basically the same thing, but ended up going with Elowen. So I did the math, and I think we had 11 out of 20 that overlapped. So out of almost 100 dolls, I guess you could say that these 11 are statistically the safest in our collection. So I'll put them up. Don't ask me to put them in like 1 through 10 or 1 through 11 order because it's not going to happen. But anyway, this was fun. I'm interested to hear everyone else's thoughts. If you want to comment down below, if you know my collection well enough to go, oh, I would have definitely put this one, or instead of, I would have substituted this one for that one. Feel free to make those comments, or think about like, how would you approach this task? And maybe not even top 20, because some people have smaller collections, but for us, top 20 was about 1/5. So if you think about whatever number is in your collection, it might be more than my dolls or fewer than my dolls. How would you pick the top 5th of your collection? So yeah, let me know in the comments. I would love to read your approaches, your thoughts, all of that. And I will see you next week for a video. Oh no, actually, I'll put a playlist on the left, and I'll pick out a video for you on the right so that if you don't want to wait a week, you can just do some binge watching right now. All right, have fun, and I will see you next week.